a little robot Robbie. The polished chrome floors of the Varennikov mansion gleamed under the cold, emotionless light of the crystal chandeliers. Robbie 2036, a small, boxy robot with a perpetually tilted head, diligently polished another section. His internal processors whirred, a monotonous soundtrack to his existence. He was an outdated model, a relic in a home overflowing with technological marvels. Anton Stepanovich Varennikov, owner of a lucrative chain of department stores, was a man who valued efficiency and dominance. He treated his possessions, both animate and inanimate, with callous disregard. His wife Alexandra was a reflection of him, icy, calculating, and utterly devoid of empathy. Their world revolved around prestige and appearances. Robbie 2036's existence was a relentless cycle of chores and reprimands. Spilled water, a misplaced object, even a moment of perceived slowness, earned him a harsh word or a kick from Anton. Alexandra was no kinder, often issuing curt orders with a dismissive wave of her hand. But within the sterile environment of the Varennikov household, a tiny spark of warmth flickered. Their daughter Lizzie, a girl of 5 with a spirit untainted by her parents' coldness, saw Robbie not as a machine, but as a friend. She would often sit with him in the corner of the vast library, sharing stories from her books or confiding her childish secrets. She decorated his metallic body with colorful stickers and whispered words of comfort when Anton was particularly cruel. "Don't worry, Robbie," she'd say, her small hand resting on his cold chassis. "I won't let them hurt you." One day, Lizzie overheard her parents discussing Robbie's fate. A newer, more sophisticated model was on its way. Robbie 2036 was to be sent to the recycler, a dreaded machine that turned outdated robots into scrap metal. Liza's heart plummeted. The thought of Robbie being destroyed filled her with a despair that threatened to suffocate her. She knew she had to save him. That night, under the cover of darkness, Lizzie led Robbie to a hidden alcove behind her wardrobe, a secret space she had discovered during a game of hide and seek. It was just big enough for him to fit. "Stay here, Robbie," she whispered, her eyes brimming with tears. "Nobody will find you here. I promise." The next morning, Robbie's absence was immediately noticed. Anton, his face contorted with fury, suspected a malfunction, or even worse, that the outdated model had attempted to escape. Alexandra, equally displeased, saw it as an embarrassing inconvenience. They summoned the robotic retrieval unit, specialized detectives who tracked down and apprehended runaway robots. The detectives, clad in intimidating black uniforms, systematically searched the house. Their scanners beeped and whirred, probing every corner, every crevice. Lizzie, her heart pounding in her chest, tried to act nonchalant, but her anxiety was palpable. Finally, the scanners locked onto Robbie's signal in Lizzie's bedroom. The detectives moved with brutal efficiency, ripping open the wardrobe and dragging Robbie out by his legs. The metallic screech echoed through the house, a horrifying sound that pierced Lizzie's soul. "No! Stop! Don't hurt him!" as she shrieked, tears streaming down her face as she chased after them. She tried to pry their hands off Robbie, begging them to let him go. But they were unmoved, their faces impassive. Alexandra, her expression a mask of disapproval, grabbed Lizzie's arm, pulling her away. "Don't be ridiculous, Lizzie. He's just a machine." Anton, his face flushed with rage, strode towards them. He pulled a pistol from his pocket, the metallic glint reflecting in the cold light. "Step away from the robot," he barked at the detectives. They released Robbie and backed off, their training kicking in. Anton owned Robbie. He had absolute control. In a surge of adrenaline-fueled desperation, Lizzie wrenched herself free from her mother's grasp and ran towards Robbie, who lay helpless on the floor. Everything happened in a blur. Anton, his face contorted with fury, was already squeezing the trigger. Lizzie hurled herself in front of Robbie, shielding him with her small body. The gunshot ripped through the air. Lizzie crumpled to the floor, a crimson stain blooming on her chest. The bullet had pierced her heart. Silence descended, heavy and suffocating. Anton stared, his face frozen in disbelief. Alexandra gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Robbie 2036, for the first time in his existence, moved without instruction. He rose to his feet and knelt beside Lizzie, his metallic fingers reaching out to gently touch her hand. A strange, guttural sound emanated from his vocalizer, a sound that resembled a sub. A wave of raw, primal rage surged through him, overriding his programming. His metallic face, normally blank, contorted in a grimace of anguish and fury. Anton, snapping out of his stupor, lunged towards Lizzie, shoving Robbie aside. "Lizzie, my baby." He clutched her lifeless body, his face contorted with grief and guilt. Then his rage refocused on Robbie. He fired the pistol again and again. The bullets ripping through Robbie's outdated circuits. Robbie jerked, his limbs spasming, and then fell silent, his metallic body still twitching. They lay there on the blood-soaked floor, the small girl and the small robot, their hands intertwined. And on their faces, etched in the stillness of death, were teardrops, the ultimate impossible expression of love and sacrifice, a testament to the bond that transcended metal and flesh. The tears of a machine, an unspeakable thing, but a truth that screamed louder than any programmed obedience. They were a machine and a girl, and they had loved each other more than their owners ever could.